guys, Phil here with High Tech Legion. MicroStar International, otherwise known as MSI, continues to launch new cards in their new gaming line. These are targeted mostly at people who just want to play games. They're not too interested in spending a whole lot of effort in overclocking. The one we have here is the MSI N660 Gaming. It's very similar to the N660 Twin Frozr that came out a while ago, and it's got a couple other little features. It has a newer version of the Twin Frozr than the previous card did. So let's open it up and check it out. Pretty standard box for the video card. You can see it has a Twin Frozr on it with the Gaming Series Dragon logo. On top has the Just Game slogan. And the back here we can see a bunch of features. It has a gaming app, which is meant. It comes with 3 overclock modes, or running modes. One of them is an overclock. One actually is an underclock, so it'll run nice and cool. Then we have the Twin Frozr IV, the NVIDIA features, an application for capturing video while you're playing, and the military class 4 capacitors. Now, take a look inside. Alright, and let's see what's in this one. Here we have our power adapter, a DVI to VGA dongle, a driver's disc, and the user guide. Inside a lot of foam, we have the card itself. Inside an anti-static bag, so no worries on shipping. Should be nice and safe. Take her out of the package. And here we go. Now we can see the Twin Frozr IV has the dual fan still. It has the vapor chamber with heat pipes going out to the second fan. For outputs, you can see it has a two dual link DVIs. One is an I, one is a D. You have HDMI 1.4a and DisplayPort version 1.2. On top here, we also have a single SLI bridge connector, so this will only work with 2 cards in SLI. And down here we have the PCI Express X16 slot. Alright, so let's go get this girl plugged in and see how she does. From the benchmarks, you can see that the N660 Gaming performs consistently a little better than the standard GTX 660. The difference isn't really all that much, but that's because it only comes with a very mild overclock from the factory. That said, if you're willing to learn how to use MSI Afterburner, the overclocking utility from MSI, you can easily get another 65 megahertz out of it and definitely get a very noticeable performance gain over the reference card. However, with the reference card, you can still do probably close to the same amount of overclocking, but you won't have the Twin Frozr IV cooling that is provided with this MSI card, and that there is probably where most of the value for this extra value for this card comes in. The fans are bigger, even bigger than the Twin Frozr 3s that are on the Twin Frozr version of the card. The N660 Twin Frozr version, which means that it's able to push just as much air while not spinning as fast, so it produces a lot less noise. Even under a high overclock, it was very difficult to notice that the fans were spinning at all. The card was very, very quiet, and temperature-wise, it never even exceeded 72 degrees Celsius, which is very impressive for having an overclocked video card. Most cards, when you start overclocking, are going to get up towards, start getting close towards 80, maybe even close to 90 degrees Celsius. But with this one, I have absolutely no worries at all with overclocking. There was no throttling happening due to the temperature getting too high. There was no throttling due to excess power usage. The only reason the overclocking couldn't go higher, it seems, is due to the voltage being locked at 1.175 volts. That is nothing to do with MSI. That has to do with how NVIDIA designed the GTX 660 core. You cannot change the voltage unless you are willing to flash the BIOS and try and push it even further. It's probably not a good idea to try and do that if you're not a really high-end enthusiast. If you've never done it before, you don't really want to go out and do it. But if you want to get as much as you can out of the card to see how far it'll go, the Twin Frozr is probably the best you're going to get without going to a water cooling solution. Overall, the card performed very, very well. I was very pleased with it. It's easy to set up. The MSI Gaming app gives you some overclocking presets for the people who are not big into figuring out how to overclock. It also has a cooldown mode so that after an intense gaming session, with a single click you can have the card run its fans up to 70% and then work its way down slowly as it cools off. That's a nice feature because if you're running something really intense, you don't really want to have to, you don't want to just shut it off and let it sit there and bake. You want it to cool off real quick. So that's a nice feature. There's also the silent mode in the gaming app, which allows you to run it at the same settings as a reference GTX 660. And what that really accomplishes with the Twin Frozr on is the card runs at reference speeds, and therefore it runs even cooler than it normally does. And this gives you an option to really, it allows you to easily prolong the life of the card, whereas lots of overclocking will shorten the life of the card. Even if it is stable, it will shorten the life of the card. So the card, again, as I said before, the card is very easy to use. It works very well. It provides a good base for anyone who wants to be able to play the latest games but doesn't have the money or doesn't care for the highest end graphics that are out there. I highly recommend getting one of these if you're in the market. At a base price of $210, it's pretty affordable for the market. It's also cheaper than some of the other overclocked cards out there, and you get that amazing Twin Frozr cooling for only $10 more than the base reference NVIDIA GTX 660. With all this, taking all this into mind, I'm going to go ahead and give this card our High-Tech Legion Editor's Choice Award. It's a great performer. It runs nice and cool. It overclocks pretty easily. It's a great quality and a good value. Guys, thanks for watching our videos. Once again, my name is Phil for High-Tech Legion. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. Actually, you're watching this on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to us. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter, and be sure to come to our website, say hello, and you can ask us more questions and look at the rest of the reviews that we have. That's www.hightechlegion.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.